Hey, what's up, guys? WhirlXbow back here, and today I'm going to be playing a deck that I love, and I think it's possibly the most hated deck in Hearthstone's history, if not one of the most hated decks in Hearthstone's history, and that is, as you can see, Big Priest. And I know I've played this deck fairly recently on the channel, and I kind of came to a realization today while talking with some friends, and that is I very much like experimenting. I know that sounds weird because I like to play, like, a lot of the same decks. But I kind of want to do more of an experiment on an archetype. As you know that yesterday we played Big Shaman. Today we're playing Big Priest. And I want to try out basically playing a whole bunch of big decks, one after another. And then kind of figure out overall in the current meta which one the best one is. I know I'm going off a very small sample size, so the number, like the stats might be skewed, right? I could hit like 13 Secret Mages in a row with this deck and have an awful win rate. But I just want to know basically which one feels the strongest. So yeah, I'm running a fairly standard list of Big Priest. I think I run a little bit more removal than most lists run, but I personally do like it with both Thrives, both Shadow Visions, and both Palm Readings. Also, I'm growing more and more to like the 50-50 split here, and I still hate Zilliax in the list. So, yeah. Anyways, that's my list. I feel like this is just a very, very standard one that you could find online, because there's only a certain amount of cards you can when you have like 23 core cards, in my opinion. If not more than that, but yeah. Anyways, with that being said, let's just hop right into the first game. Alright, guys? And let's get this experiment on the way. Alright, guys? Grab a drink, and I'll see you guys there. Alright, so our first matchup is against Druid. I feel like this should be a fairly good matchup, actually, for me, especially with this in the opener and the coin. Thrive is also an insane card. Yeah, this hand actually looks really fucking powerful here. Alright. So, depending on what we draw and what deck he is, the play is most likely to coin Vargoth on 3 and hopefully draw a Palm Readings or get a Palm Readings off this. You have to play a Shadow Visions fairly fast afterwards. So it's aggro. If he doesn't have Call of the Wild or Power of the Wild, we're chilling here actually. Yeah. And again, the earlier I get this down, it's something he has to answer. Because if I get Shadow Visions off with this, he kind of loses the game. That's fine. He doesn't go Call of the Wild. Or, yeah, that's fine-ish. I want to play greedy, but it's not worth it. I'll do that. He's left with 4 power on the board. Next turn I could coin Vargoth. He's forced to answer it. And if he only has a buff to give it, say, +1/+1 for the board, that and that trade into the Vargoth, which is fairly good for me. There's the Mark of the Lotus. Unless I top deck exactly Breath here, in which case I send on Breath here every single time. Oh, Palm Readings is actually a fire card, though. YOLO. Yeah, that's fine. Next turn I can go coin Shadow Essence with a 33% or 66% chance to hit Blood of Goon, or I get Call of the Wild out of the game. Oh, I got Call of the Wild out of the game. Oh, well, it's a 50-50 now. I lost a 50-50. Ah, did I really lose? Depending what this kills, I've lost. I do gain 5 here. And if he hits Savage, where obviously I just lose. So as long as I don't hit this, I win. Okay, that was actually best case. Okay, well, that's one way to win, or to get back into the game. I was really hoping I could have waited with that Resurrect, but there was no way I was able to wait there. Here, I mean, minimum I gain is 8 health. No matter what I off there, these kind of win me the game. That's fine. I don't play any Battlecry minions. I'm going to just go with this plus this. Yeah, okay, I win. GG. I wait for his concede. This gets me double Obsidian Statue, and I think it's just worth it to slam. Yeah. He concedes here. Or he ropes me and then concedes. One or the other. Okay. There's no one card in his deck that deals 11 damage. And next turn I had double Obsidian Statue. There was no way I was losing that. To aggro druid. Yeah. And see, like, this is what I mean. I feel like the big decks, even though this game, I'd argue I had a fucking cracked-ass draw. Right? Don't get me wrong. But I feel like big decks in the current meta are actually, like, really fucking solid. And it's not just the druid one, and it's not just, or sorry, not the shaman one and the priest one. Even big warrior I think is fairly good in the current meta. Big druid on the other hand, I have a hard time saying. Big paladin, I have a hard time saying, so I haven't played much of either of them. And yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other big decks. Not really. There's actually 2 versions of big druid. So if you guys do have a list for big druid, please send me one. If you guys have a list for big paladin, please send me one. But we're also going to be playing decks that are also just generally big decks. And you guys are going to see what I mean later on when we're actually going to get to those decks. But for now, let's hop right into the next one. Alright guys, I'll see you guys there. Okay, against paladin, I assume every single time that it's just hand buff. Against hand buff, this is not even that great, but I'm going to keep it. I feel like this whole hand is actually pretty solid. I mean, this could be better, obviously, but I just generally like having one Resurrect spell in my hand, because if I hit palm readings, as I just did, it's insane. Like, this is going to be 1 mana, say, Res of Blood, or Res, even a Vargoth is not bad, or Obsidian Statue, or Scrapyard, which is, like, all, like, really, really good buffs. Oh, and it's Libram. I feel like this should be a free GG. It's hard to say this early on, but I generally feel like this should be a fairly good matchup. I'm going to greed here. I'm going to greed because I have this. Basically, because I have this, I'm going to go this on 5 into this plus this. And if I hit a blood, I just kind of win the game. I mean, sure, he could have a board wipe. But at the same time, I mean, basically, if he has a board wipe, he has a board wipe. He's pure, which means he has exactly 1 consecrate, or 2 consecrates. Is one thing, right? It's not like he could be winning Wild Pyro. So he only has 2 consecrates, so 2 actual board wipes. If I'm not mistaken. You can have 4 qualities, but only 1 board wipe. Yeah. I think that's how the math works. What the fuck? It's not a deck I was expecting to see Prismatic Lens, if I'm being honest. Blood? That's actually a super low roll. Oh well. That's actually one of the worst minions to hit. No cap. That feels really fucking bad. It's the only minion that doesn't really give me much. Like Obsidian Statue would kill something. Blood of Goon is by far the best one to hit in general. Okay, here I'm just going for value. Kill that, keep the 5/5 around. It's not something he can easily deal with. Just hope to soon hit Shadow Essence. And it really sucks that off both of my palm readings, I didn't hit any Mass Reses or Diamond Spellstones, which are by far the best cards to hit. If he does kill this, I just Resurrect. Also, this is the worst one to hit, because if he kills it, and then kills the token, Resurrect doesn't guarantee hit the good one. That's really good for him. That's a really, really early copy of this. Guess I'll just go for this now. Oh, I fucked up. I should have done this first, then healed, then copied. Yeah, I have to do this. It pops the D shield here, which is the important part. And I mean, this being maxed out is also not bad for us, right? Not hitting any bloods is really fucking bad. The one thing I miss about this list that I have in a lot of my other lists of the deck is Sphere. To make sure that, say, Blood of Goon would be at the bottom of my deck so I can continuously cycle through those, or Scrapyard Colossus would be at the bottom to continuously cycle through them. So this is just very, very unfortunate. Mass Dispel would also be a huge card here to draw. Well, Servitude is not bad. Take a random 4-cost spell. They're typically okay. Of course, it didn't hit one of the 3 minions that I actually killed, right? That would be too good for me. Okay. My hand is awful right now. The fact that I have not hit Shadow Visions, Thrive in Shadows, Mass Dispel, second Shadow Essence are really fucking bad for me. But at the same time, he's played both Libram of Hope, so he's out of healing, basically. I mean, I guess he could get some back off like Lady Liadrin or something, but... Mass Dispel would be huge here. I was hoping he didn't do that, because this way he'd only have 1. He's also not running the Highlander version, which is good to know. Actually, if he's running Pure, he never runs Highlander. I'm dumb. Ignore me. Beautiful card. The reason I go for this here is because I just generally want... I know this is like a little sketch because he just hits. But then I could also just heal it back up. And I most likely summon this next turn. I need to hit Vargoth. To have an extra... To have all 4 minions for the Greater Diamond Spellstone. So yeah. Basically, by the way, in this matchup, you have to play as greedy as possible. That's just a fun fact to have. And right now, I have so many dead of the 7/7s that I'm in a very, very good spot for, like, Mass Resurrection. Mass Res would be a huge card to hit. Okay, that's the best card in my deck to hit. If I can start cycling through Bloods or Vargoths, I'm popping off. Actually, this pops off. I don't play this basically for the entire game at the moment. Unless he, like, plays a giant minion. Obviously. Okay, that's an interesting combo. Oh, that's 3 damage off lethal. Feel bad. Feels bad. But, like, I feel like we just kind of bullied this guy out of the game, quite literally. We had a very early Scrapyard, which is, again, it was the second worst one in our deck. Best one, obviously, is Blood, because if you can continuously cycle through Bloods, you kind of just win. The second worst one was... Then the next one, best one would be Vargoth, because it gave me a reroll, basically. And the best one after that was Scrapyard, then Obsidian Statue. It's the one that has the least amount of value overall. Okay, this is where he fucked up, leaving that guy alive. Do you have a choice to leave him alive? Blood. No, okay, he didn't. Oh my god, I high rolled the shit with double blood there. Oh my god. That was filthy. Okay, that was right there. That was so fucking lucky. I have 2 dead bloods in my death pool, and I hit both of them with the first
first Master with it, and then I hit the second one with it. And I have the same amount of 7 tokens. I forget what they're called.
What are the tokens of Scrapyards? Colossus. Spell-cracked Colossus. I have the same amount of those as I have these 7/7s dead. The fact that I hit this is actually insane. Ooh. He's dead. Still dead. Okay. Again. He felt like we got bullied, and we, like, RNG'd basically perfect here. To be fair, again, it didn't really matter what these were. Or actually anything, kind of. Yeah, we kind of popped off. So. Yeah. That early Scrapyard was actually insanely good. As I was explaining, right? It kind of bullied him because he couldn't kill the token, so it was better for him to leave a 5/5 on the board until I copied it. Then it became him really bad for him to have left that on the board. And then after that, he just couldn't deal with the big top minions. Again, Paladin's weakness is they have very limited ways to deal with a board. Wait, should I have 2? Also, wait, I'm going to click on these while I'm here. Oh, those are just 2 different priest quests. But yeah, Paladins can deal with boards very, very effectively, but it's a 2-card combo. Which is not necessarily the best when you think of other good board wipes in, you know. Oh wait, I have another one to click on? Jesus Christ. What am I thinking? In, like, say, Plague of Death. I know it's not the most played one nowadays, but it's still an insane good board wipe. And, what's the one in Warlock called? Twisting Nether. They're both really, really good. And I mean, Paladin could do it for 6 mana, right? Through a quality or I guess 7 mana through a quality consecrate, which is insane, but it's a 2-card combo, which makes it significantly worse. Also, both cards are kind of like okay on their own. So yeah. Anyways, with that being said, let's just go to the next one. All right, guys, I'll see y'all there. Okay, Rogue. Rogue is a very interesting matchup. If it's Mill, it's a weirdly hard matchup, and if it's Kingsbane, it's a weirdly hard matchup. It comes down very much to, do I get a very early Shadow Essence or not? And hit Blood. Very specifically Blood in this scenario. And then if it's like just like, if it would have been odd, it was another very interesting matchup. But yeah, this matchup is just in general very fucking interesting. Okay, so it's just Kingsbane. So you need to have him have a very weak draw, or to get palm readings into Shadow Essence, or some combination of dumb cards like that. Yeah, that's possibly the best turn 2 in that deck. Palm readings is a very important card to get, so would Shadow Essence be. An early Shadow Essence into Blood with this hand, with a palm readings, would win me the game. I would be able to go Resurrect Eternal Servitude on Blood, and then on average I'm getting too many taunt minions for him to deal with each turn. So yeah, Tinkers, coin Tinkers with no minions on board. Ah, interesting. Playing like minionless? No. Okay, that's big. The reason I don't want to necessarily board wipe here, just because I have Penance in hand. So I take, what is that, 8 here, and then I wipe the board. He has nothing on board. He doesn't have Kingsbane anymore. Unless he draws Kingsbane. Right, if he, like, does this into Raiding Party. So it's not Raiding Party, unless it's Prep Raiding Party.
Might not be able to get Kingsbane back next turn, in which case I'm chilling. Okay. Again, I take a lot of damage here, but if he doesn't have Kingsbane next turn, I'm chilling. Second Penance draw would possibly be the best one in my deck, or palm readings. Oh my god. Are we greedy here? We're fucking greedy here, boys. It's a 50-50 at winning the game, I think. If it hits this, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but that's so big. Oh my god, that's so big. We're getting, like, super fucking lucky. If he can draw Kingsbane here, he's forced to kill Vargoth. If he doesn't and he goes face, he's throwing. I purposely took a little bit longer on picking the Shadow Essence to make him think like I possibly missed. But at the same time, he has to assume I have Shadow Essence here. If he doesn't, he's griefing. Okay, thank God. One time blood. The 50-50. Okay, GG. GG. I hate saying GG so early on, but this hand says it's GG, basically. He kills both of these here. Next turn I go Eternal Servitude, Resurrect. Sure, you don't take damage. I have an endless board of 5/5 taunts. And when I start hitting Scrapyards and Obsidian Statues, there's no way he wins. I think. I know I sound very, very cocky right now, but I'm in an insane place. He's like running Doomerang, in which case I might be a little fucked. But he's also running Doomerang. The odds of that are very fucking low. Yeah, I have... Odds are I hit Resurrect into Blood, and then I could go Eternal Servitude. Oh, I take 13 damage here. What the fuck? If I get OTK'd from this position, I guess it's... I got OTK'd from this position. Okay. It was GG if he didn't have the perfect draw. Now I sound like a fucking idiot. Man had optimal cards in that scenario. That's so tilting. He never won that game if he didn't draw that well. He doesn't deserve this one. I'm so fucking depressed after that loss. He just straight up doesn't deserve it. Well, I guess I get punished for talking shit, but... Jesus Christ, that's so fucking disgusting. Double Prize Plunderer. Plus exactly enough to kill a blood. Double Deadly Poison, South Sea Deckhands. That's fucking disgusting. And a paralytic. If he had played one less card, didn't draw the Paralytic Poison, or didn't draw the South Sea Deckhand, he lost this game. Every single time. That's so fucking depressing. Actually, that is like the worst loss I think I've ever had. That's so fucking... He did 18 damage from having no damage on board that turn, by the way. Just, I want to put that into perspective. He had 0 damage on board that turn. Right? No, he had 5 damage on board. And I had 10 health of taunts. And he did 18 damage to me. On turn 6. Let's just put that in perspective. That means he did 28 damage in one turn. On turn 6. People wonder why I hate that deck. Yeah. Anyways, whatever. I'm gonna live in my depression and while we queue up the next game. Alright guys, I'll see y'all there. Alright, well, let's see how I'm gonna get cucked this game. Man, last game just puts like an awful taste in my mouth. Straight up. His draw was 1 in a million, quite literally. You need to have the perfect draw in order to kill me there. Also like to point out, if I had hit Scrapyard Colossus, he had lost that game. Which is also depressing news. Man. It's actually so fucking tilting. So fucking tilting. Hopefully we're not just dead here to a god draw. Is it ever correct here to greed? Whoops. I did not mean to click that. I was actually debating going coin palm readings here. It's actually a lot of value. Yeah, I was like, get cucked now by that. Oh well. Oh well. Sometimes you just lose because your opponent draws better than you. I'm gonna go with that. That's a really good card. Basically, I need to just survive for 2 turns. And I think palm reading gets me there on average. Or I'm just dead here. That's great. I love just randomly dying on curve because my opponent's playing aggro druid and he drew savage are in the top 5 cards of his deck. Do I believe he has a second Savage or in the top 9 cards of his deck? Right here, play here is to say yes. I can't be greedy. Oh, that's true. I'm fucking dumb picking Pint-Sized Potion. I thought that was until my next turn. Whoops. Ah, good thing I did. Oh, I fucked up picking Pint Size. I should have taken Flash Heal. I'd be at 19 here. The only way I win here is Shadow Essence into Blood into Scrapyard. Never mind, I lost this game. Yeah, unlucky. That first one was possibly the worst possible cards I could have hit. Man, this makes this deck look so bad, but I swear it's not fucking bad. We've legitimately gotten cocked by the nuts, I feel. That rogue game we should have won 100%. We should be 3-1. This one I understand losing. He drew really fucking well. But it wasn't nearly as good as that rogue drew. That rogue's draw was the most disgusting draw I've seen in I don't even know how fucking long. Like straight up, that draw is not okay. That draw is the reason I hate that deck, because I feel like it happens every single time I queue into Kingsbane. I'm in a position where I quite literally, he has 0.1% chance at lethal, and he always has it. Like, to have the perfect combination of cards there to get your weapon to the size it was, and then on top of that, play enough cards in one turn, and have Xaxes enough mana to be able to kill both of my fucking Bloods from the position he was in, is so incredibly low that the fact that he actually did have it is so fucking tilting. Like, he didn't draw patches, and he summoned patches for free on turn 4, which is... I draw patches quite literally every other hand playing that deck. And my opponents never seem to draw it. But fuck, I want to play one more game because I have a whole bunch of things I want to talk shit about Kingsbane Rogue. So yeah, let's just queue it up. Alright. This is a fast enough game that it doesn't matter if I just spend the entire time complaining about Kingsbane. But yeah, in my opinion, this is going to sound very fucking weird because you guys know how much I hate other decks at the... just in general. I think that Kingsbane is the worst designed card ever in the history of Hearthstone. Flamewaker is a better design. I'm trying to think of other cards that are just terribly designed cards. I think, honestly, Kingsbane is the worst designed card. The card always felt like it was designed to be a control card, and then they removed the only aspect that control had with the card, which is preventing it from having permanent lifesteal, which turned it into an aggro card. And also, I mean, with the help of all the other broken shit they printed for Rogue, obviously. You pick Resurrect there because it's the worst card, and you want to possibly have extra chances of hitting the other ones with the Shadow Visions. Also, with the hand I have here, it's perfectly fine. But yeah, Kingsbane. The problem with Kingsbane is that there's zero interaction with that card. Compared to other cards that have similar abilities, thinking of the Paladin minion, you get Silence. That card does nothing, right? There is exactly one card to interact with Kingsbane, and it's a 5-drop. When the deck kills you on turn 5 consistently, a 5-drop is way too fucking slow. In reality, what we need is, in order to make Kingsbane not as kind of just... It's a deck that basically should always be in people's minds. It's the reason I've often just kept pieces of weapon removal in my deck, even though Kingsbane is not really meta. Because there's always those couple fuckers that play the deck. And Kingsbane, with how little interaction there is, I know people... Okay. People say that decks like Raza Priest have no interaction. And I personally think that's absolutely wrong. There are playable cards to interact with Raza Priest that are better, that are also good in other matchups, right? Bad Luck Albatross is good in every single Highlander matchup. Dirty Rat is good in how many matchups? Like fucking every other matchup you'll queue into, basically. That's a really filthy golem he got there. I want to Greed here, but it's absolutely wrong. Yeah, see? Right, so against... Yeah, so... Right, you also have Dirty Rat, which is also good against, you know, Flamewaker Mage, Mizaki Mage, most combo decks in general, Druids in general. And it's just a solid 2-drop, right? A 2/6 for 2 is pretty solid against most decks. Get fucked. But Kingsbane, in reality, any tech you put into your deck to deal with Kingsbane is good against exactly Kingsbane. There's not a single other deck that has anything that can beat Kingsbane. Also, he wanted to kill my I5, by the way, before playing this. Just sub fact. I meant to play the other one first. Oops. Okay, that was what I was worried about, but yeah. So Kingsbane, there is quite literally zero interaction you could play besides shiny. What's the name of the card? 4/4 for 5 pirate that steals your opponent's weapon. It's the only card you can actually play to deal with Kingsbane. And I know the deck's not popping enough in the meta to warrant a spot in your deck, right? But in general, Reno decks I find are popular enough in the meta to the point where you should possibly consider putting Bad Luck Albatross in most of your decks you build. Just because it's good against, you know, a large portion of the field. And I think that's the big problem I have with the deck. I just dislike how there's zero interaction with the deck. If there was better weapon removal that were also good against other decks, like say if there was a druid card that was like destroy opponent's weapon, silence a minion for like 3, that'd be perfectly fine. You know, a 2/2 that did that, I'd have less of a problem with the deck, but since this way is actual interaction. Or I guess you need a neutral card that's better. But it needs to be a card that's playable against everything. Or just a card that silences your opponent's weapon. You know. Or that gives it a permanent debuff. Right? Say a minion that gives your opponent's weapon -3 attack. Permanently. It'd be perfectly fine then, in my opinion. I just don't like basically how there's no interaction for it. And I find that makes it a terribly designed card. Because kind of the people that play it, especially when the meta's not teched for it. I know I was talking like praising Big for that. At the same time, Big could just get aggroed down. And there's a lot of RNG involved in the decks. Where Kingsbane, everybody just seems to draw perfectly playing that deck. Except for me. But anyways, I feel that this was a very open-ended ramble. If you guys have differing opinions, leave them down below, you know. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't leave a like, subscribe. Also, that was an awful pack. Yeah, just... I don't know what else to say. Besides the fact I'm tilted. I hate losing to Kingsbane, especially in that fashion. I feel like it was not very well deserved on his part. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about this now because I can bitch about it and probably repeat my points 1,000 more times. And I'd still think I'm saying new things. But yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, rep the gang, follow me on Twitch. Yeah, I think that's basically it. Oh, and follow me on Twitter. Yeah, you know when I go live and shit like that. But anyways, with that being said, yeah. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.